establishment. The court said, what is DGP doing? He has been asked to present himself to the court on Friday. And I come to the point, has the state government security establishment completely failed? Brijesh, my input editor is with me. Brijesh, has the state government's establishment failed? Because Supreme Court's obiter dicta was so severe that I don't remember that any state government being pulled up on the issue of crime and law and order like that in the recent past.
Well, I think, the Supreme Court's observation was scathing, hard-hitting and to the point. The reason I'm saying this is that because it left no maneuvering space whatsoever for the government about the kind of situation, the kind of happening it took place at the security forces level. The fact is that the incident happened on 4th of May, the FIR was lodged on 18th, the police took sweet 14 days to lodge the FIR, and till the video went viral, there was no action. Karthikeya, I don't think there could be anything worse than that. I think, heads are going to roll as far as going by. If you go by, what the Supreme Court, the tone and tenor of the Supreme Court.
This is what was happening. When the government and the people closely associated with it, जब ये कसीदे पढ़े जा रहे थे कि सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा है मणिपुर में, this is what happened in Imphal. These were empty properties. But who burned these empty properties? How were these empty properties burned? Let me just play out some of the points made by the Supreme Court. Let's look into the points made by Supreme Court. So scathing, Supreme Court said the approach was lethargic. Where is DGP? What is going to happen with the 6,000 FIRs? Are you going to give that to CBI? Who's going to do the basic work of putting the FIRs in different quarters? It's absolutely scathing. Question lapses, calls for investigation, tardy. SC says complete breakdown of law and order in the state. Breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state. Asked why it took 14 days to file FIR rape
This
case.
is the kind of question, Karthikeya, we have been raising ever since that video became public.
अरे बात यहाँ नहीं खत्म होती और देखिए कोर्ट ने क्या बोला है. कोर्ट ने कहा है
State police has not been in charge of law and order. I mean,
there are statements of women saying that the policemen handed over them to the mob. Have those policemen been interrogated? Has DGP inquired? What is the DGP doing? It is his duty. So there need to be a mechanism to bifurcate 6,500 FIRs because the CBI cannot be burdened with 6,500. Otherwise, it will result in breakdown of CBI mechanism also. Mind-boggling. State police is incapable of investigation. They have lost control. There is absolutely no law and order. I mean, so you can't go more scathing than this. You can't go more scathing than this.
It was a very damning indictment of the
And these are the visuals.
Police. Very damning indictment.
These are not all visuals. 31st of July. The visuals 31st of July. Observations 2 p.m. post Tuesday. First play out those 2 bites of the 2 advocates, both sides of the story. Then I'm going to introduce my guests, Dr. Ramanan Singh and Dr. Thangalal Haukip.
It has asked the Director General of Police of Manipur to remain present on the next date of hearing because the court was hearing the state side and the Solicitor General has filed a brief rejoinder and the explanation regarding the FIRs, that total how much FIRs have been registered, what action has been taken. But the court was not satisfied regarding the arrest made, regarding the total number of exact FIRs related to the sexual harassment cases, what action has been done, why they were not registered promptly, why there was inaction on the part of police. So upon all these queries, court has ordered that the Director General of Police of Manipur State shall remain present on the next date of hearing.
In continuation of yesterday's hearing, today a report has been filed by the concerned authority which has not been shared with us because there was something which the authority didn't want to disclose, the names and everything. But so far what has happened in the court today is 11 cases have been segregated which deals with crime against women, and these 11 cases have been these 11 cases have been transferred to CBI. Now, over and above that, one more case of burning of an 80-year-old woman belonging to a Meitei freedom fighter has also been added when it was pointed out by Learned Senior Counsel Mr. Jaideep Gupta. Now, 12 cases in total have been handed over to CBI now for the time being.
हमारा ये घर है, हमारे पास कुछ नहीं रहने की जगह ना कपड़ा लत्ता जो बेटी का शादी के लिए थोड़ा बहुत कर्जा लिया था घर जाने के लिए घर चला जाएगा नहीं रहेगा इधर हमारा सामान भी नहीं बचा नहीं कपड़ा बचा नहीं खाने का मेरा ये भी कर्जा भी अब जो कर्जा लिया हम लोग कहाँ से देगा कहाँ जाएंगे कुछ भी सामान का कुछ ठिकाना नहीं मिलता छोटे छोटे बच्चे हम लोग ने कभी भी नहीं सोचा था कि हम लोग के साथ ऐसा होगा भैया हम लोग के साथ बहुत बुरा है
हमारा सब कुछ जल गया अभी तो हमारे पास कुछ हम घर से सड़क पे आ गए सर हमारा इसमें क्या दोष था बताइए
A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Singh and Mr. Haukip. A very warm welcome to you. My first question is to Mr. Haukip. Very scathing comment by the Supreme Court of India. Shouldn't heads roll? Shouldn't political heads roll? Because DGP reports to someone, he does not entertain himself in a vacuum.
You know, as far as the government of Manipur is concerned, this kind of, response that the government would be submitting to the, Supreme Court would be embarrassing. I was listening online the whole proceedings, the hearing today, and I was not surprised by the comments of the Supreme Court. But however, at the end of that hearing, there is a response by the Solicitor General on behalf of the government of Manipur, and that surprised me because, in terms of the dead bodies or the kind of people who have been killed on the 3rd and 4th May, who are lying in morgue in Imphal, there was a comment made by the Solicitor General that these are people, illegal immigrants. How can the Solicitor General made such a scathing comment? Because there was a senior official of the Manipur Secretariat, who was been killed in this riot. And how can, a kind of official who had been serving the Manipur government be deemed as illegal immigrants? There was another, government officials of the excise department or income tax department who was also been killed. So how can such officials of the central and state government, high officials, high-ranking officers be even grouped as or even termed as illegal immigrants? There are many people, residents of Manipur. Most of them are residents of Imphal who have been working there as employees of certain, government departments or making their living or retiring there in Imphal. So how can you brand them as illegal immigrants? That is shocking observation made by the, to my opinion, that kind of gross, comments is uncalled for. And I think that could make complications in the later hearings.
Aukip, apart from that, court has made some very powerful observation because, affidavit was also submitted on behalf of the government also. Yeah. So, we have to take into account what they have said. Let me just read out, I have got data on my phone and that data is very, very telling, Let me just read out that data. It goes on to say 4,500 weapons looted, 1,600 recovered, 150 dead in violence, 500 injured, 6,500 FIRs, 5,000 cases of arson, 250 arrests, 1,200 plus preventive arrests. Ramananji, your first opening statement on Supreme Court.
Thank you, Kartike. I really appreciate the News9 for continuous and consistently you are following the Manipur issues by updating the whole current issues in the medias. In terms of the observation of the Supreme Court, let me tell you, it is not just about the law and order collapse. It really feel that the systems of the law and order in Manipur is collapsed before the before the, you can say, the riot takes place. Why I'm saying, because when the 3rd March, the all tribal students and the communities have protests on the different districts. Where was the arrangement, security arrangement done by the state police? There is no arrangement at all. Because of that, the issue has been taken place. Now obviously, the afterward you can see that when you loosely left out everything in terms of law and order in the hill and the valley, then once the conflict broke out, from the region, which everybody knows, then till now you can see so much the horrific kind of the tragic kind of incidents and the things are happening. Very surprisingly, the government of Manipur, given the number of FIR, that is 6,523, but they do not categorize the types of crime, and they do not have details of that. That also be pointed out the Supreme Court, that you should categorize the those FIR details with types of the murder, types of the kill or rape, or the other kind of loot, and modesty, and the grave burning of the houses. Now they don't have till now, after the more than 80 days, going to be 3 months, you do not have concrete data what is happening in Manipur. Now how much house is burned, and how much people are killed, and how you have arranged. Even now, there are 35 body in the Chutampur hospital, where the only the refrigerator who can only accommodate maybe 10-12 body, but you are keeping 35 bodies in Chutampur hospital. There are 27 bodies in the Jinims, and the 25 in the Rims, where you will only can this body can only, few bodies can be accommodated in those hospitals, and you are putting huge number of bodies there. So what are the arrangement on those kind of
Ramanand ji, you see what happens is in politics mein hota kya hai ki when someone is very powerful and is Brijesh, if affiliated with the center, no one asks tough questions. Honestly, the tough question, Supreme Court was left with the job of asking tough question. The tough question is, what was police doing? What about those 2 policemen where women are saying कि इन्होंने हमको mob के हवाले दे दिया? This is tough question. No one has been asking tough questions. No politician has answered that tough question. Mr. Haukim, isn't that the tough question? What was police doing? Supreme Court is doing the job which politicians should have done it.
Of course, yeah, there are many tough questions that can be asked to anyone in the political power, starting with, Manipur. And we have been restrained to a certain extent because, the kind of regime that we have. Sometimes people are not, so much willing to ask difficult questions. And even the media, we are in the media also, many of them are just stooges of the regime. So this is the problem in India. So the judiciary is left as the last, pillar to question the government. And I'm happy today that the Supreme Court has pointed out many of the lapses that has been happening on for the last almost 3 months. And I'm very satisfied with the kind of comments that are made by the Supreme Court. And I think I only believe that because of this Supreme Court that Manipur situation could be improved, or maybe some kind of justice could be delivered. It may not be political, it may not be the kind of justice that the minorities may be expecting, but somehow some semblance of order, semblance of law and order could be expected in the coming few weeks, because this week the DGP of Manipur is going to answer, the Supreme Court personally. Earlier, it was a cookie DGP who was, who was not able to perform his duties because of his ethnicity, and later on he was shifted to Delhi for a few months, and then he is retired. So this is the kind of situation we are divided based on ethnicity, and the law and order situation is not, not improving, and sometimes it's worsening also, despite the claims by the chief minister that that some semblance of peace or some semblance of law and order has improved. But you see, last night, 17 houses belonging to the
yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely.
in Imphal. So where is the law and order situation in Imphal?
Yes, yes, you are right. How empty houses were burned. Ramananji, tell me, empty houses were burned.
Yeah, not only that, even in the More, some Meiteis, the house was there. They reburned again, and they finish up all the house there in the More. Those kind of things. The point here is the collapse of the law and order is now witnessing, and now it has coming out in the court of the country. Today, the observation of the Supreme Court is something like slapping, on the face of the police official and police administrations in Manipur. That everyone in Manipur right now is unsafe. What will happen? Nobody knows. No one is under control of any law and orders. That is the situation here in the Manipur.
I was just thinking, Mr. Singh, every question is being asked of the DGP, Brijesh, as if only DGP is responsible. No one is asking this question to the Home Minister. No one is asking this question to the Chief Minister.
I think,
Aisa lag raha hai, DGP runs the state. One DGP is already gone. Second DGP has been summoned. Other people are also responsible for law and order.
I'm honestly speaking, I'm very perplexed at this unique situation, where the Kuki community says that they don't trust the police and the para commandos and all, SFs and all. If you listen to Mr. Ramanand, Professor Ramanand Singh and others also, they also talk about the same thing. That that they don't trust, and the law and order has not been taken into account. The police has not performed its task. When both ethnicity so clearly point at the kind of lacunas, the lapses which were there and not catered to by the police. The number of arrests which was shown in 6,500 FIRs were only 7. And those 7 are in those 2 cases, because they acted because they knew that the court would ask these questions. And that is the reason why after a long lull, it's a very macabre kind of situation, when he's talking about how bodies are there, when you talk about, how bodies are left there to rot. Karthikeya, in this day and age, this 21st century, in this day and age of connectivity, in this day and age of people amplifying their their voices, their concerns and all, bodies rotting there, houses are being burned with impunity, absolute impunity. As if, the person who is doing it knows that nobody will come and stop him. And this is the most shocking thing, that takes a Supreme Court to ask the kind of question which jolts the government into doing some sort of course correction, and yet the course correction is not being done.
How will you expect the course correction to be carried out when there is no political will? Course correction requires some sort of a political activity.
Absolutely.
Political activity in Manipur in itself gets contested, Mr. Auke. You have an all-party delegation which goes there. It doesn't have the sanctity of the center. You had this non-partisan relationship. I remember as a student, when Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister, the delegation was led by Vajpayee. I'm just giving you an example. On big things, opposition and the ruling governments have collaborated, isn't it, Mr. Auke?
That's definitely true. Manipur is not a state, not has seen so many ethnic violence in the past, and during these times, the central government had imposed, despite the kind of political parties ruling in Manipur, when the law and order mechanism fails in the state, president's rule was imposed during the 90s and even before that. In the last 50 years, the state capacity has increased a lot in the northeastern region, and that could be felt in Manipur also, because in the last 10 years, the reach of state into even the remotest corner of the state has been increasing because of transportation improvement, because of the connectivity in terms of telecommunications and others. And the state capacity has increased, and the kind of riot and the kind of conflict that we have now, people were not expecting this. At base, it could have been controlled in the Charazanpur-Bishnupur border. That was the kind of expectations. But it seems there is a lack of political will to control this riot. That's something that I strongly view, because we have seen that the riot spreads so fast and without any preparation. And before the rally, intelligence sources must have briefed the chief minister and other agencies that there could be potential or possible a point where the two groups could clash, and adequate security arrangements could have been done. But what did the home minister or the chief minister did? I think it was almost nothing that the government did, and that's why the conflict continues, and it spread to other places.
What is even more perplexing, Mr. Singh, is that despite so much of presence of security forces, your public infrastructure is getting burnt. This is what I don't understand. You see, Mr. Singh, yes, I'm coming to you. Okay, the violence is not happening. After, even in More, there was no casualty figure there. But public infrastructure got burnt. You see, if I go through this data, it just tells me the shop has been burned, the house has been burned, cars have been burned. How do people get away with this? We are living in an age where you have CCTV cameras, there's a Wi-Fi, net is under surveillance. Again, what happened on Imphal, these are the visuals from Imphal. How can someone, and on top of it, no one is getting caught also. I have been doing this program with Videsh for now 3 months. Except public outrage related to those 2 violent incidents against women. कोई ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि इतनी लंबी लंबी लिस्ट आई है कि इन 100 लोगों को पकड़ा है. ठीक है, people have been detained, but culpability in context of specific actions, specific events of violence, they have not been part of the national narrative, nor they have been publicized, British.
Absolutely.
Mr. Singh.
Yeah, absolutely true. You can see the now only the burning of the house. You can say it's become lesser. You will not witness the frequent burning of the house, but still the firing occasionally in the week time, in a few days, they are happening now. Now that question is the law and orders with the police department, and there are I already have talk about these in your channels before also. There are more than 60,000 forces there. What they are doing, that is the basic questions which I generally wanted to ask. Still, why they are not able to control? They say there is a buffer zone which are developing between some area between the 2 communities. But will this be the solutions for this conflict to end? I don't think there is no solutions, because government still not started the platform for negotiation, platform for dialogue.
Absolutely.
You are only just managing. You are just managing the day-to-day affairs now. Till there are so many crises, there are so many bodies are lying there. Now still people are segregated between among them, and you are making a buffer zone. That means you are segregating more between them. That is what the question is. And now you are calling the DGP to present. Yes, DGP has to give the answer, but not only the DGP, I really support your point. That
no, you are absolutely right. You have summed it up so beautifully. The government is only looking at the day-to-day affairs. It is not making any long-standing policy initiative. I completely agree, because कहते ना कि a lot of people are saying there has to be an incident-free day. This has been an incident-free 7 days, incident-free 15 days. It's like Kashmir counting. Have you been able to resolve the issue politically? Well, have you been able to resolve the issue socially? Have you been able to resolve the the political economy behind this violence? Both of you are sociologists, anthropologists. There is a political economy of this violence. Has that been dismantled? Has that structure of silence been dismantled in Manipur? Brijesh?
Well, I think, Karthikeya, the most important thing to remember is that there has been no sincere effort on the part of the government. First thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the reason I'm saying this is that, that police walas and the DGs are the most common and convenient fodder for the courts or for other people at large to send the message. But the reality is that, that the situation more than law and order. Do you think
DGP को तो बुलाना सबसे आसान होता है?
Do you think that the DGP has guts to say no to the Chief Minister? The Chief Minister says crack down on anybody who violates the law.
Does he have the guts to say no to the Home Minister?
Exactly. So he can't. I mean, see, the point is, that is what I'm saying. That the point is that the reason why the situation is not returning back to normalcy is because the Chief Minister is not taking steps in as many directions. And this has been made amply clear by the kind of observation which has been asked by the court. I mean, there's a report that, that the SO which has been removed, his removal has led to a lot of outbursts and, local protest and all. The point is, when the division is so deep, what exactly the state and the police and the paramilitary is doing?
Chief Minister has to be like Caesar's wife, above suspicion. I think, Mr. Haukip, the failure is there. Chief Minister has to be like Caesar's wife, beyond suspicion. लोग विश्वास नहीं कर रहे हैं. There has to be trust in the political action. That agency that we believe him is absent. 3 months now, 90% of the people who have come on this show have said that, Manipur can be better off with some other politician from BJP. Mr. Haukip.
Definitely that, since the first week of May, we have been saying that there is complete law and order situation here. The mechanism has failed and we need a president's role. And we have been saying that for 1 month. And after that was not possible because of the kind of political, regime that we have both in the center and the state, then we are demanding at least, change the Chief Minister. There are many other capable, politicians in Manipur, and just before this conflict also, there were a kind of grumbling over the Chief Minister's chief. So there are Biswajit, there are other people who are capable to handle over, these situations. But why is the center so unwilling to change the political leadership of Manipur? That's something that needs to be questioned. And, in the last almost 3 months, that even that option has also been gone, because the Home Minister himself says that the Chief Minister will stay on. Then what option is left now? I think there's nothing, in the political anger, in the political field, there's no option left, because that is what the constitutional mechanism prescribes. The constitution says that,
Mr. Haukip, option to hota hai, but you require political will. Sorry, I'm cutting. Option to hota hai. You require political stamina. Option hota hai. You require moral stature. Option hota hai, but you require conscience. इस देश में लाल बहादुर शास्त्री भी थे, जिन्होंने एक एक्सीडेंट पे इस्तीफा दिया था. But बहरहाल, let us listen to those 2 bites again. I want my viewers to listen into the plight of common people. People have been understanding this conflict only in context of communities. But there are people beyond communities. Listen to these sound bites.
हमारा ये घर है, हमारे पास कुछ नहीं रहने की जगह ना, कपड़ा लत्ता जो बेटी का शादी के लिए थोड़ा बहुत कर्जा लिया था घर जाने के लिए, घर चला जाएगा, नहीं रहेगा इधर. हमारा सामान भी नहीं बचा, नहीं कपड़ा बचा, नहीं खाने का. मेरा ये भी कर्जा भी, अब जो कर्जा लिया हम लोग कहाँ से देगा, कहाँ जाएंगे, कुछ भी सामान का कुछ ठिकाना नहीं मिलता. छोटे छोटे बच्चे हम लोग के, हम लोग ने कभी भी नहीं सोचा था कि हम लोग के साथ ऐसा होगा. भैया हम लोग के साथ बहुत बुरा है.
हमारा सब कुछ जल गया. अभी तो हमारे पास कुछ, हम घर से सड़क पे आ गए सर. हमारा इसमें क्या दोष था बताइए.
So isn't it about political stamina, Brijesh?
Well, absolutely, and I think more than stamina, Karthika, it is about political probity. But you are the chief. When you are the chief minister, I understand that it's very theoretical to say that that the chief minister or politician shouldn't be biased. I mean, it's theoretically saying that you should always tell truth and things like that. The reality is, I agree that chief minister and all is a political animal. He has to he has to get elected from the majority. The rule of politics is that first past the post is the one who gets to become the chief minister. But the thing is, for everything there is a limit to it. As a chief minister, you are also the guardian of the state, and I don't whosoever is at fault. My take is whosoever is at fault. If you feel that that one ethnicity is at fault, please crack down on it. But you cannot keep on paying this smoke and mirror kind of a policy where you say one thing, you let people insinuate one thing, you let one theory float. The police wala is just getting caught. If I mean, honestly speaking, there has to be a lot of political accountability required in this particular case, rather than the police accountability.
Absolutely.
I know for sure. I have covered
yes.
crime. I have covered several riots, Karthike. If the police wants, there can be not one damn shop which can be burned or broken.
But
if the police
should have
that is what I'm saying. If
unqualified support from the political structure. So to the point, Mr. Singh, ऐसा नहीं लगता कि मणिपुर has become a political orphan?
Yeah, this is basic. Absolutely
सब बात कर रहे हैं,
I do
सब
agree
आंसू
with
बहा
your
रहे हैं,
point.
सब कह रहे हैं अरे बहुत गड़बड़ हो गया मणिपुर पे, but no one is helping Manipur.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and I thought that the blame should be on both the government, center and the state, because these two agency, they are the parents of this state. So they are working both on the side. When you see how the strategic approach to solve the problem, they call two different community and two different time, and you are separately talking to them separately. You don't have the system to come together. You don't have a platform. You don't develop the platform for meeting together and the trying to discuss what is the real problem, what is the issue, and you don't create the atmosphere for solutions to bring. And
there are no interlocutors, Mr. Singh. I really feel that they could have been interlocutors.
Yeah,
there are no interlocutors.
The both side, so those kind of thing, those kind of politics really make hard on the Manipur. If the central government really wants to solve the problem, they should call both the communities and let them say whatever they want. Let them do the debate on the whatever they want to do. If they are in the system, they are in the in Indian system, they have to be in the constitutional framework. They have to talk about everything in the constitutional framework. They can't demand beyond the the constitutional framework. So that has to be very clear while you are meeting with the leaders, whatever the leaders may say, but that control should be done by the state and the central government.
Mr. Hauke, constitutional framework, as Mr. Ramananji is saying, constitutional framework.
Definitely, we have in India, we have a constitutional framework, a kind of asymmetry that we have in the Indian Union. India is a beautiful federation where you have different kind of asymmetric power relations between the center and the state, and within the states you have a different kind of asymmetry in Assam, in Mizoram, and in other places. We have a lot of provisions within the constitutions to accommodate different kind of aspirations. But why are we not trying this kind of solution within this crisis also? Because of this political unwillingness to resolve the crisis, the health sector has deteriorated. I am sad to say that yesterday one of our little sister who was married from a village to another village in Saikut subdivision died because of typhoid. Just imagine somebody who died of typhoid in the 21st century, because the health sector has deteriorated. There are no medicines, there are no proper facilities in the community health centers now. So people are suffering in the public health and also education now. Today, the one of the advocate mentioned in the hearing that, there are 200 schools in Churachandpur, and all the schools are not functional since 4th May till today. So it's been 3 months, and all the educational institutions are not functional, and the future generations who had suffered or who had just recovered from COVID in the last 3 years. Now in Manipur, they are suffering from this kind of problem again. We are not thinking about our children or future generations who would be a kind of a pride to us in future. We are not thinking about that, and we are talking about, you blame someone, the other blame you. So this kind of two may is happening, and in this kind of deep divide, I think it's Delhi that should try to bring together the kind of political solutions that are demanded or that are aspired by different section of people in Manipur. So the central government has to do it. As soon as it's done, then I think normalcy would slowly limp back to the kind of expectation within this year.
Let me be the devil's advocate. Maybe Delhi is not doing it because it doesn't want to be seen taking side either with the Maithi or the Kuki. Maybe they want the issue to settle down first and then start the process. Let me be the devil's advocate here. Maybe Delhi is thinking like that. Side nahi leni abhi. Let it settle down. Ramananji, then I'll come to you, Brijesh.
Yeah. Yeah, it may be. Nobody can say and deny any kind of conspiracy or any kind of theory behind it. I do agree, but I only hope that the Supreme Court, since they have taken up this matter, I hope they should have this cases leading to some conclusion. And we have only trust on the judicial system at the moment. And I hope this is one way to look at the crisis to end or towards the normalcy. By the interference of the Supreme Court, we do feel that this crisis may solve to some extent, because they may have observed a lot of things in terms of a law and order. And if due to this, if the law and order is developed, we may think about some new development for the normalcy.
Mr. Ramanan Singh, that is what gets my goat. Sorry to use the word. Supreme Court can expedite work on FIRs. Supreme Court can pass stricture. Supreme Court can pull officers. But Supreme Court can't get the political reconciliation process. वो तो, as Brijesh was saying, is the job of the politician. That basic job is not happening. ये बिल्कुल ऐसा है, we'll make the cake. So someone is saying, no, I'll get a pink plate. The other person says, no, I'm going to get the cherry. Then the third person is saying, no, we're going to get a wooden box. But boss, you need egg, you need flour, and you need some sugar. In the sense, basic काम तो कोई कर ही नहीं रहा है. No one is doing the basic job.
The point is, once the law and order situation is become normalcy and it is under control, then you can plan for those political dialogues and others. So
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope so. That's what I hope so. I hope that is what is in their mind. I really hope so. Really, please complete your your point.
So that is the point which I am talking about, because the current situation at the moment among the common citizen is the fear, and their confusions, their anxiety, frustrations that need to be controlled at first, so that the spread of the communal conflicts stops. That is the main focus now. Then afterwards, you can plan for all those dialogues and others. Yes, the government should initiate those processes. If the government is willing to solve the problem, they should make simultaneously the platform for dialogue, platform for the negotiation, platform for the peace process must be start. You can see from the beginning, they have formed a peace committee which was not working. Now nobody knows where was that committee. What they are doing, nobody knows. Now, then after that,
peace committee will disappear. Okay, Brijesh. Peace committee has evaporated. I don't know where the peace committee is.
Yeah, and after that, there is a committee formed led by the former the High Court. They are doing some job, but they are also taking a lot of time because of the conflict which are existing there. But that is also need to be speed up, because that is one thing which I think help to
Ramananji,
resolve.
I really need to stop you because I made a commitment to my viewers also. Not only going to, I will discuss every day 1 hour Manipur, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever time it is, minimum 1 hour. But I am also going to show them the ground reports. My reporter from Manipur has done ground report from western side of the Imphal. Please have a look at these ground report. This will give you a correct picture of the life in Manipur, and we will continue our special coverage every day as a matter of commitment. I as an editor am saying that we will continue to put light on Manipur. We will continue to shine a light on everyone who's supposed to do their job in Manipur. Every day you watch this to the point with me and Brijesh. Have a look.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. Manipur is going to be our focus over the next couple of minutes. Ever since 3rd May, when the violence actually began in Manipur, so much has happened. The Home Minister has been there. There is proper political furor in the parliament. That particular abhorrent, gut-wrenching video also came to the fore. And now the Supreme Court has also intervened and pulled up the Manipur police. It's asking for all this breakup of the 6,000 FIRs that have been filed in the parliament. The opposition is at complete loggerheads with the ruling dispensation over Manipur, depending Prime Minister's statement. The government of the day is saying that the opposition is not letting a debate take place. Meanwhile, what is happening in Manipur? That has been our focus from day one. We here at News9 made sure that even as internet is suspended in the valley areas and in the hill areas, it's important that the actual voices and the real stories do in fact come out. And for the same, we sent our colleague Jitendra Sharma. He's been on the ground over the last week and bringing us actual and true information from these border points, be it the setup of a front line between the Kukis and the Metis, what's happening in the Zomi areas, what's happening in the villages, what about education, what about various orphanages that are working there. We have it all. This show is a complete dedicated show into the true and real ground report from ground zero in Manipur. First and foremost, let's shift our focus. Let's take you to Imphal West, where a recent fire took place in the Zomi area, where residents of the Zomi people were living. Jitendra Sharma has filed in this ground report. Let's take a look at the ground report first.
इस वक्त हम मणिपुर की राजधानी इम्फाल के अंदर मौजूद हैं और ये जोमी इलाका है और ये देखिए किस तरीके से यहाँ पर आग इस वक्त लगी हुई है। फायर ब्रिगेड मौके पर मौजूद है और आग पर काबू पाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। दरअसल लोहे का एक गोडाउन था और उसके ठीक बराबर में तमाम घर आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं और आग लगने के बाद पूरे तरीके से अफरा तफरी का माहौल चारों तरफ देखा जा सकता है। ये देखिए किस तरीके से फायर ब्रिगेड की जो टीम है वो इस वक्त मौके पर मौजूद है। लगातार आग पर काबू पाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। कुछ घर हैं जो आग के हवाले हो चुके हैं, जिन घरों के अंदर आग लग चुकी है और तस्वीरें आप देख सकते हैं। लगातार जो लोग हैं, जो पब्लिक है, वो किसी तरीके से इस आग पर काबू पाने की फायर ब्रिगेड की मदद से कोशिश करते हुए साफ तौर पर देखे जा सकते हैं। ये देखिए एक ये घर है, दूसरा घर मैं चाहूंगा कैमरामैन आपको दिखाएं। ठीक सामने एक और घर है जहां पर कुछ लोग अभी मौजूद हैं, उन्हें भी निकालने की कवायद इस वक्त यहां पर चल रही है और फायर ब्रिगेड यहां पर मौजूद है। पिछले आधे घंटे से आप देख सकते हैं इस इलाके में आग लगी हुई है और लगातार इस इलाके में आग पर काबू पाने की कोशिश फायर ब्रिगेड की तरफ से करते हुए देखी जा सकती है। हालांकि आग लगने की वजह क्या है ये अभी तक साफ नहीं हो पाई है, लेकिन ये देखिए लोग अपने घरों का सामान लेकर जो बाहर निकले यहाँ से, जो इस गोडाउन के आसपास घर थे उनमें से जो लोग थे वो अपने घरों का सामान यहाँ से लेकर भागे हैं, जिसके हाथ जो लगा। और ये देखिए अभी भी जो लोग हैं उनके बीच अफरा तफरी का माहौल देखा जा सकता है। देखिए ब्रीफकेस लेकर ये शख्स, ये देखिए किस तरीके से अपने घरों को खाली करने में लोग इस वक्त यहाँ पर लगे हुए हैं, अपने घरों का सामान यहाँ पर निकाल रहे हैं ताकि उनके घरों तक आग ना फैले। लेकिन तस्वीरें मैं चाहूँगा कैमरामैन आपको दिखाते रहेंगे। देखिए किस तरीके से जो फायर ब्रिगेड के कर्मी हैं वो लगातार कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इस आग पर काबू पाया जा सके। और ये देखिए लगातार आग जो है वो धीरे धीरे इस पूरे इलाके में फैलती जा रही है। आग लगने की वजह अभी तक साफ नहीं हो पाई है, कारणों का अभी तक नहीं पता चल पाया। आप देखिए तस्वीरें किस तरीके से जो लोग हैं वो मदद कर रहे हैं इस आग पर काबू पाने के लिए फायर ब्रिगेड की। और तस्वीरें देखिए किस तरीके से जो आग है वो धीरे धीरे इस पूरे इलाके में फैलती जा रही है और आग पर काबू पाने की कोशिश कवायद यहाँ लगातार जो फायर ब्रिगेड के कर्मी हैं वो करते हुए साफ तौर पर देखे जा सकते हैं। ये देखिए किस तरीके से जो पानी की बौछार है वो इस घर के ऊपर फेंकी जा रही है ताकि जो जलता हुआ घर है उस पर आग पर काबू पाया जा सके। और ठीक सामने, मैं चाहूँगा कैमरामैन आपको तस्वीरें दिखाए, ठीक सामने देखिए किस तरीके से अभी भी अंदर आग लगी हुई है। तो धीरे धीरे कोशिश है कि इस आग पर जल्द से जल्द काबू पाया जा सके। ये आग किस चीज में लगी है?
हम तो पता नहीं है, यहाँ से नहीं है, हम देखने के लिए आ रहे हैं।
ये आग किस चीज में लगी है?
ये तो पता नहीं सर क्या चीज से लगा है।
कब से लगी हुई है आग?
लगा था भाई 6 बजे से।
6 बजे से। हाँ। ये घर है क्या यहाँ पर?
घर है, मतलब भाड़ा का घर। हाँ। ये घर भी है, मतलब जैसे भाड़ा में देता है ना आदमी का, वैसे रूम है। तो उस साइड में तो घर है, वो तो सब जल गया, फिर इस तरफ आ गया।
आप इसी इलाके के रहने वाले हैं?
वेस्ट बंगाल का।
आप यहाँ रहते हैं?
जी।
क्या हुआ यहाँ पर?
यहाँ पर फर्स्ट टाइम उधर में जल गया था, नेक्स्ट इधर में जल गया, फिर बंगाली का रूम में जल गया, बिहारी का, ऐसा हुआ। फिर हम लोग
जला,
वो तो पता नहीं, लेकिन हम लोग खाना खा रहा था उस टाइम, खाना छोड़ कर हम लोग भाग गया।
अच्छा,
ऐसा हुआ था।
तो कोई अभी तक किसी को हानि तो नहीं पहुंची?
जी नहीं, चौकने पूरा रूम जल गया सर।
आग लगने की वजह कुछ नहीं पता अभी?
नहीं।
Well, the stories of destruction and story of violence. Even as we bring you reports from Chura Chandpur, where borderlines have been created between Kuki and Methi, take a look at this next ground report, where we'll show you how people are actually living in harmony from the farmlands. Take a look.
शांति बहाली के लिए इस इलाके में आप देख सकते हैं 24 घंटे किस तरीके से जो फोर्सेज हैं वो यहाँ तैनात रहती हैं, बाकायदा दोनों कम्युनिटी के बीच में सामंजस्य बनाने के लिए, ताकि दोनों कम्युनिटी आराम से मोहब्बत के साथ एक दूसरे के साथ रह सकें। और ये देखिए, अब ये जो इलाका आप देख रहे हैं, मैं चाहूँगा कैमरामैन ऊपर आपके, आप ये देखिए, ऊपर आकर आपको तस्वीरें दिखाए। ठीक देखिए सामने, ये जो आप पूरा ग्राउंड देख रहे हैं, ये जो पूरे खेत देख रहे हैं, ये दरअसल मैतैयों के खेत हैं। ठीक सामने आपको तस्वीरें दिखाई देंगी किस तरीके से खेती करते हुए लोग दिखाई दे रहे हैं। और ठीक सामने जो आप ये पहाड़ों के ऊपर घर देख रहे हैं, ये दरअसल ये कुकीज़ के गाँव हैं जहाँ पर कुकी समुदाय रहता है। लेकिन जो तस्वीरें अब से कुछ दिन पहले TV9 भारतवर्ष ने आपको दिखाई थी कि जो खेती होती है वो पुलिस सुरक्षा के बीच होती है, यहाँ पर उस तरीके की तस्वीरें नहीं है। पुलिस बल हमारे साथ आया जरूर है, लेकिन यहाँ पर जो किसान हैं जो मौजूद यहाँ पर जो खेती कर रहे हैं, कुकी और मैतई दोनों समाज एक दूसरे के साथ ये कमिटमेंट कर चुके हैं कि वे दोनों एक दूसरे को परेशान नहीं करेंगे। और तस्वीर आप देखिए कितने आराम से बेफिक्री के साथ ये किसान इस वक्त यहाँ पर खेती करते हुए दिखाई दे रहा है। ये तस्वीर आप देखिए, चारों तरफ आपको खेत दिखाई देगी और ठीक सामने आपको ये पहाड़ दिखाई दे रहे होंगे। और दरअसल यहाँ पर 10 से 15 गांव हैं और ये जो गांव है वहाँ पर मिक्स पॉपुलेशन है, यानी कि नागा भी हैं, कुकी भी हैं और मैतई समुदाय के लोग भी यहाँ रह रहे हैं। लेकिन ये देखिए किस तरीके से जो पुलिस फोर्सेज हैं, जो हमारी BSF है, वो 24 घंटे यहाँ पर तैनात है। और यहाँ खास बात यह है कि किसी भी तरीके का डर आपस में दोनों ही कम्युनिटी को एक दूसरे से कतई नहीं है। ये देखिए किसान है, आराम से खेतों में काम कर रहे हैं। दोनों समुदाय के बीच जो प्रेम है वो अभी भी बचाकर यहाँ पर रखा हुआ है। मैतई समाज के हैं और ये देखिए आराम से खुले में अपनी खेती कर रहे हैं। और ठीक सामने जो आप गाँव देख रहे हैं, ये सारे कुकी समाज के हैं, कुकी समुदाय के हैं। लेकिन यहाँ ना कोई फायरिंग जैसी घटना होती है, ना ही एक दूसरे से कोई झगड़ा है, ना कोई फसाद है। बेहद मोहब्बत के साथ ये तमाम लोग आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ रहते हैं। और ऐसे परिप्रेक्ष्य में, यानी कि ऐसे वक्त में मणिपुर में ये जो तस्वीर है, ये अपने आप में एक नज़ीर पेश करती है। नाम क्या है आपका?
अमुसना, लक्ष्मण अमुसना।
मैतई कुकी?
मैतई।
मैतई। तो डर नहीं लगता है? पूछिए जरा इनसे।
कोई माँ बाप ने देखो सकन होना है यहाँ करना को।
माँ बाप ने तो बोला है इधर मत जाओ, मगर सिक्योरिटी तो बहुत है ना, इसमें डरने का क्या है, नहीं डरता है।
तो कोई फायरिंग वगैरह एक दूसरे पे नहीं होती है ना कुछ भी?
कोई नहीं इधर में फायरिंग, कोई नहीं।
तस्वीर आप देखिए, चारों तरफ आपको खेत दिखाई देगी और ठीक सामने आपको ये पहाड़ दिखाई दे रहे होंगे। और दरअसल यहाँ पर 10 से 15 गांव हैं और ये जो गांव है वहाँ पर मिक्स पॉपुलेशन है, यानी कि नागा भी हैं, कुकी भी हैं और मैतई समुदाय के लोग भी यहाँ रह रहे हैं। लेकिन ये देखिए किस तरीके से जो पुलिस फोर्सेज हैं, जो हमारी BSF है, वो 24 घंटे यहाँ पर तैनात है। और यहाँ खास बात यह है कि किसी भी तरीके का डर आपस में दोनों ही कम्युनिटी को एक दूसरे से कतई नहीं है। ये देखिए किसान है, आराम से खेतों में काम कर रहे हैं। दोनों समुदाय के बीच जो प्रेम है वो अभी भी बचाकर यहाँ पर रखा हुआ है। मैतई समाज के हैं और ये देखिए आराम से खुले में अपनी खेती कर रहे हैं। और ठीक सामने जो आप गाँव देख रहे हैं, ये सारे कुकी समाज के हैं, कुकी समुदाय के हैं, लेकिन यहाँ ना कोई फायरिंग जैसी घटना होती है, ना ही एक दूसरे से कोई झगड़ा है, ना कोई फसाद है। बेहद मोहब्बत के साथ ये तमाम लोग आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ रहते हैं और ऐसे परिप्रेक्ष्य में यानी कि ऐसे वक्त में मणिपुर में ये जो तस्वीर है ये अपने आप में एक नजीर पेश करती है।
Well, next up, take a look at this particular report that we're bringing you. We've heard about stories of violence, we've heard about stories of peace, but take a look at the stories of heroism, stories that will surprise you as well, some positive light coming out of Manipur.
मणिपुर में आपने हिंसा बहुत देखी होगी और दोनों समुदाय को आमने सामने फायरिंग करते हुए भी देखा होगा, लेकिन इस वक्त जिस जगह मणिपुर में मैं खड़ा हूं ये वो जगह है जहां पहुंचने के बाद थोड़ी राहत जरूर मिलती है। राहत इस बात को लेकर कि जहां पूरे मणिपुर के अंदर दोनों समुदाय आमने सामने हैं, दोनों एक दूसरे के जानी दुश्मन बन बैठे हैं, लेकिन ये वो इलाका है जहां पर आज भी दोनों बेहद मोहब्बत के साथ रहते हैं, एक ही रास्ते का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, एक ही खेतों में काम करते हैं और एक ही जगह उन सभी के गांव हैं और इतना ही नहीं गांव के अंदर भी एक दूसरे के साथ मोहब्बत से रहते हैं। तो बिल्कुल देखिए यही खूबसूरती है इस जगह की। ये जो आप जगह देख रहे हैं ये पूरा खेती का इलाका है और हर जगह की तस्वीरें हमने आपको दिखाई कि किस तरह पुलिस की सुरक्षा के साए में खेती हो रही है उन इलाकों में जहां पर जो मैतई हैं वो नीचे हैं और जो कुकीज हैं वो हिल्स के ऊपर हैं। लेकिन ये जगह देखिए बेहद खूबसूरत जगह है ये और बहुत खूबसूरत, इस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के दौरान इतनी खूबसूरत तस्वीरें आपको देखने को नहीं मिलेंगी। ये देखिए ये पूरा खेती का इलाका है, यहाँ पर बाकायदा मतई जो है वो खेती करते हैं और ठीक ऊपर कुकी यहाँ पर अपने घरों में रहते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ कोई भी फायरिंग की या फिर आपस में झगड़े की कोई भी ऐसी घटना अभी तक सामने नहीं आई है। ठीक सामने जगह देख रहे हैं ये दरअसल यहाँ पर एक अनाथालय है और अच्छी बात यह कि उसी अनाथालय के अंदर कुकी और मैतई दोनों कम्युनिटी के जो बच्चे हैं, जो अनाथ बच्चे हैं, वो एक साथ रहते हैं। तो ये वो जगह है पूरे मणिपुर के अंदर, इकलौती जगह भी कहना कोई गलत नहीं होगा कि इकलौती ऐसी जगह है जहां पर दोनों समुदाय एक साथ आराम से रह रहे हैं, शांति से रह रहे हैं, दोनों के बीच में कोई झगड़ा नहीं और अभी तक किसी तरीके की कोई फायरिंग या फिर कहें एक दूसरे को परेशान करना इस तरीके की बातें सामने नहीं आ पाई। और इस बात की तस्दीक यहाँ रहने वाले ये दिलीप सिंह है जो मैतई हैं और ये जो पूरी जगह आप देख रहे हैं, जो खेती की जगह देख रहे हैं वो इन्हीं की है। और ठीक सामने ये जो पहाड़ी आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर कुकीज़ के मकान हैं, लेकिन ये बेहद बेफिक्री के साथ अपने परिवार के साथ यहाँ आराम से रह रहे हैं। तो हैरान कर देने वाली ये जो जगह है, जो तस्वीरें हैं, उनके बारे में और जानने की कोशिश करते हैं यहीं के रहने वाले दिलीप जी इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। लेकिन उनसे सबसे पहले सवाल उनसे पूछना चाहूंगा, आप किस कम्युनिटी से हैं?
मैं मैतई कम्युनिटीज का हूँ।
और ये जो आपके ऊपर घर हम देखे अभी
ऊपर में तो कुकी का है।
तो कोई डर?
क्या डर नहीं है अभी तक।
क्यों? यहाँ सब लोग एक साथ रहते हैं?
तो सब एक साथ रहता है, शांति भी रहता है। अच्छा। हम एग्रीमेंट किया है, हमको भी उसका ऊपर में कोई झगड़ा नहीं करेगा, वो लोग भी नीचे आके कोई झगड़ा नहीं करेगा, ऐसा एक कमिटमेंट है हमारे पास।
तो यानी कि कमिटमेंट पे सब कुछ चल रहा है कि यानी कि वो आपके इलाके में नहीं कुछ करेंगे, आप उनके इलाके में नहीं कुछ
नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि हम विश्वास है वो लोग से, क्योंकि वो लोग सब पुराना दोस्ती है सब, इसके लिए यहाँ में कोई झगड़ा अभी तक नहीं किया है।
अच्छा, ये बताइए इस जगह के बारे में थोड़ा समझाइए, कितने गाँव हैं यहाँ पर, कितनी आबादी होगी?
ऊपर में कुकी का तो कम से कम 15 विलेज ऐसा ही होगा, कथेमांबी से सयांग तक। उसमें एक विलेज तो बड़ा भी है, छोटा भी है, मगर नीचे का मैतई का तो बड़ा विलेज है।
ये पूरा जो इलाका है ये मैतई का?
ये मैतई का है।
ये जो खेत है सब मैतई के हैं?
खेत का सब खेती सब मैतई का है।
मैतई यहाँ खेती करते हैं?
खेती करता है।
ऊपर से डर नहीं लगता गोली चलेगी?
यहाँ में तो ऐसा डरने का कोई जरूरत नहीं डरता है।
अच्छा दिलीप जी एक बात बताइए, ये जब ऐसा इलाका आपने बताया यहाँ पर हो रहा, तो पूरे मणिपुर में क्यों नहीं पूरा मणिपुर इसी तरीके से रह रहे हैं?
वो तो जगह जगह का पता नहीं है हम, क्योंकि यहाँ का तो पहले से दोस्ती करके रहता है, इसके लिए कुछ नहीं किया है। दूसरा जगह में तो मालूम नहीं हम कैसा।
अच्छा, यहाँ पर स्कूल भी होंगे?
स्कूल भी अभी शुरू किया है। स्कूल
में भी दोनों कम्युनिटी के बच्चे एक साथ जा रहे हैं?
दोनों कम्युनिटी के तो अभी तो सिचुएशन ऐसा नहीं है, इसके लिए स्कूल का तो नहीं चल रहा है। मगर इधर में एक ऑर्फन होम है, उस ऑर्फन होम उसमें तो कुकी का भी और मैतई का भी बच्चा लोग सब रहता है। अच्छा। ऑर्फन में।
इस वक्त हम इम्मा फाउंडेशन के अंदर मौजूद है और ये ऑर्फन हाउस, और ये देखिए किस तरीके से यहाँ पर ये दंपत्ति हैं, ये इन अनाथ बच्चों को अपने साथ रखे हुए हैं। यहाँ पर बाकायदा अपना ऑर्फन हाउस जो है बड़े अच्छे से चलाया जा रहा है। लेकिन अब जरा ये जो कपल आपके सामने खड़ा हुआ है, इनके बारे में आपको बताते हैं। जिस सरप्राइज की बात मैं ठीक गेट पर नीचे कर रहा था आपसे कि आप ऊपर जाएंगे तो हैरान रह जाएंगे, अब वो बात आपके सामने आने वाली है। नाम क्या है आपका?
My name is Dawzala Hawkib.
What's your name?
रेवती हॉकी।
आप? मैते कुकी।
I'm Kuki and she's Meitei.
सुना आपने, ये कुकी है और ये मैते हैं। समझिए बात को और इस जगह की खूबसूरती को भी समझिए इसी नाम के साथ कि ये दोनों एक साथ किस तरीके से यहाँ पर रह रहे हैं। जहाँ पूरा मणिपुर एक दूसरे के आमने सामने है, दोनों समुदाय एक दूसरे के आमने सामने हैं, वहीं पर ये कपल है जिसमें से एक मैते है और एक कुकी। और ये देखिए किस तरीके से ये जितने भी अनाथ बच्चे हैं इनको इस ऑर्फन हाउस के अंदर रखे हुए हैं, इनकी पढ़ाई करवा रहे हैं, इनको खाना दे रहे हैं और इनको बड़े अच्छे से यहाँ पर इनका लालन पोषण ये पर कर रहे हैं। यहाँ आने के बाद मेरे पास अब शब्द ही नहीं बचे हैं। जो मैं सोच कर आया था कि क्या तस्वीर आपको दिखाऊंगा, लेकिन जैसे ही यहाँ पहुंचा, या आप यकीन मानिए हैरान कर देने वाली ये तस्वीर है, जहां आपको पूरे मणिपुर में दोनों समुदाय एक दूसरे के आमने सामने आकर दोनों समुदाय एक दूसरे के घर जलाते हुए दिखेंगे, एक दूसरे को टारगेट करते हुए दिखेंगे। लेकिन यहां आप जब आएंगे तो आपको पूरा असली मणिपुर आपको दिखाई देगा, वो मणिपुर जो कि प्रेम के लिए जाना जाता है। और ये देखिए किस तरीके से दोनों कपल हैं। ये कपल ये हमारे सामने खड़ा हुआ है, मैतई कुकी है, और ये देखिए बच्चे, सभी समाज के यहाँ पर, सभी समुदाय के बच्चे यहाँ पर बड़े आराम से यहाँ इनको रखा जा रहा है। इनका लालन पोषण, इनकी पढ़ाई, सब कुछ ये यहाँ करे। तो ये जो तस्वीर है ये मणिपुर है, और वो तस्वीर जो आप लगातार पिछले कुछ दिन से देख रहे हैं उसके बारे में अब शब्द इस तस्वीर को देखने के बाद बचे ही नहीं है। ये बताइए कब से आप ये ऑर्फन हाउस चला रहे हैं?
2014 से।
और ये जो इतना झगड़ा चल रहा है पूरे मणिपुर के अंदर, उसके बाद ये तस्वीर तो बड़ी अजीब सी है।
We did not know. We did not know means, of course, the situations affect us, but we are not involved in that. We stay here. We do not go out. We stay here, and no one comes and disturb us, either from the hill or from the valley. No one comes and disturb us.
तो ये सारी कम्युनिटी के बच्चे हैं?
हाँ, सारी कम्युनिटी के बच्चे हैं। मैतई का भी है, कुकी का भी है, नगा को भी है, नेपाली को भी है उसमें।
अच्छा।
Well, so stories from all facets, the good, the bad and the ugly, focusing a little bit more on the good this time around. Keep watching News9 Live. We'll continue to bring you all the latest updates right from Manipur. This is Kabir Naqvi signing off.
China won't let us rest easy on our borders, but they will keep flooding our markets. What does Xi Jinping really want?
I think he wants the Indian market, no doubt about it. It's really a matter of showing their dominance.
India's great Chinese conundrum.
Nobody can contain it. Not the United States, not China, not anybody else.
Frenemies. Streaming now.
Gautam Adani